It's Mick again. Unfortunately, I'm not out and about still. I'm still getting over this bug I've had. And as all things happen, I had a couple of little problems with the car. So got to fit a new airbag on the front. It happens. So anyhow, so what I'm going to do, a talk today about bags, equipment, or what we carry, why we carry it and that. And hopefully it'll make an interesting video for you. And I'm not trying to tell you what's right, what's wrong. That's a purely individual and personal choice. I'm just going to show you what I found, what I like, what works for me, and what I use. And again, give us feedback. Let me know, what do you use? Do you use the same kit as me? Is there other kit out there that I've not come across that you use, that you find works well for you? So that's what we're going to do today, and hopefully it'll make a fun and enjoyable video for you. Talking about fun, heard a cracking joke today I thoroughly enjoyed. So King Tut's being put into his sarcophagus and sent on to the afterlife, and one of the lads walks in and he's got a bow drill fire starter kit, and he lays it next to the king and says, you know, that's for you to light fires in the afterlife, Your Honour. And one of the other priests looks over and says, don't be stupid, he's got a pharaoh rod. So it made me chuckle. Hopefully you like it. And of course there's the other story, two guys out there, and they're at their bush camp and all the rest of it. One looks over to the other and says, oh, what are we having for tea? And he said, oh, we're having Himalayan rabbit stew. He said, don't be daft, we're in the middle of Sussex. Where'd you find a Himalayan rabbit round here? He said, Himalayan over there, I scooped him up, I made stew. So again, that made me chuckle. Anyway, let's crack on with the video. So, bags. That's my, pretty much what I call my everyday carry. This is the bag I'll take out if I'm going shopping, or I'm going for just a local wander. And it's a small bag. It's nothing too heavy. It's not camouflage, which most of my kit is. A lot of my kit is military kit. I like it because it's sturdy and it's tough. This bag's a 20 litre. Got a little reflective strip on it. Comes in handy. It's got little loops on it. You can hang things off and you can hang it up. Great little go bag. What I do, I've got a carabiner on it, just so that I can clip stuff to it if I need to. In the outside pocket, always keep one of these. Basically just a flapjack bar. Good energy, lots of sugar. Feeling a bit weak or a bit down, it's in there. I can go to it, make myself a brew, or make myself or give myself something to eat, get a bit of sugar into my system. In the kit, or in the bag, I keep basically my emergency kit, and I keep what I call, well, what is called an IFAK. So that's an individual first aid kit, and that's my individual first aid kit. I carry that pretty much everywhere with me. If I'm taking out one of my other bags, this will come out and that goes into that bag. And what I'll do, I'm going to change the camera angle and give you a quick review of what I carry in these two bags. So we'll go through the first aid kit first. And this is purely my individual first aid kit. This is what I've found over the years I want and I need to carry with me. And it's a small kit, but it's fairly comprehensive. So I open it out, and everything that I need there in an emergency is laid out in front of me. I have a small tin here, which usually has a rubber band around it. In that, it contains lothramide, which helps with diarrhea, paracetamol, ibuprofen, cetirizine hydrochloride, which is a hay fever tablet, and Gaviscon. That's upset stomachs covered, pains, knocks and bruises covered, and again it just packs down into a little tin like that. I also keep in there a sterilised scalpel blade, just in case I need to do, not surgery, but minor things, removing a thorn or or removing a snag of skin. And I don't know if you've ever done it, but I caught a fingernail once, peeled it back and literally peeled it almost back to the quick, and it was one of those, it was that painful I couldn't pull it off. So what I did was I got a scalpel blade and I literally just nicked the nail, which got it off, and was able to put a plaster around it, stopped it snagging and that. Next thing that's in there is emergency shears. Now these are essential. They will cut leather. I'm a motorcyclist and I know from experience these will cut leather jackets and things. So if you need to remove clothing from somebody, or you need to remove a cord, or in an emergency cut somebody free from something, yeah, brilliant go-to. Not too big, sits in the pack, and on my emergency bag, which I'll show you later, I have one of those strapped to the outside. Next thing, small cuts, small lacerations, small grazes. I don't carry many plasters, you'll see, but what I do carry is spray skin. So basically it's a spray plaster in an aerosol. You can just squirt it on like that, give it 30 seconds, it dries off. Now that gives you a perfectly impermeable barrier. That stops water, that stops dirt getting into any cuts, grazes or injuries. Next to that is a hypothermia blanket. Again, does exactly what it says on the tin. It's a hypothermia blanket. You can use it for yourself, you could use it for a casualty, you could wrap them up. Then behind that, I go into what I call further cuts. So I have plasters, just a small selection of plasters. Again, these are for wrapping around tips of fingers if you peeled a nail back or something like that. And I have a selection of sutures in there, and they're butterfly sutures. So again, if I have a cut or an injury and I need to close it, I can do. And this first aid kit is for me primarily. Yes, I would use it on somebody else in some cases, but to be honest with you, I'm more likely to wrap a dressing around you, call for an ambulance if it's that bad. Then under that, I have burn soothe gel, sealing burns, burn shield dressing. So again, if you've got a burn, you put the dressing on, it cools the dressing, helps keep it clear. And 3 small packs of the burn gel. And again, we're bushcrafters, you're lighting fires, you're going out, you pick up something that's a bit hot, you give yourself a bit of a burn, you touch your arm against something, you get a bit of a burn. These sort of things are great. They will reduce the pain and they will help you to sort the burn out. Behind that, I have a tube here, and this is an elasticated self-adhesive compression bandage. Kenzo tape, or Kenzo tape is what a lot of people call it, sportsmen use it. Great for muscle injuries. Get a strain or a sprain, pull a muscle or something, you just need to support that and hold it in place. It works and it's self-sealing, it sticks back to itself. It's elasticated. The other thing this is good for is holding dressings on. So if you've got to put a dressing on and it's somewhere that's going to get loose, like it's on a calf or something like that, and you're having to walk out, you can use this to bind it in place. Just remember that you've got to control the blood circulation level. And inside that is a small wound dressing. That lives inside that, packs away there. That deals with minor compression injuries. Now on the other side is what I call my emergency pack, and this is where I get into dealing with something major. Okay, so the first thing I can reach for in there, and everybody should be carrying one of these if you're out, especially if you're using axes and knives, is tourniquet. Okay, I'll hear lots of people go, oh, tourniquets, you're not supposed to use tourniquets. Yes, you are supposed to use tourniquets. If the blood loss from a limb is rapid enough, use a tourniquet. At the end of the day, if the person's foot falls off afterwards, it falls off. But that prevention in blood loss is going to save their life. This is a lesson that was learned out of Afghanistan and Iraq. Right, the military started using them. You can go and do courses on these, which I would recommend to do. Go and do a course on it. Don't just watch a YouTube channel. Go and do a course on the correct application. And I carry 2 of these. One of these is in this pack, and one's always in my other pack. So at the end of the day, I have a tourniquet, because if you have an injury that is that severe that you're losing blood at a rapid rate, that's going to save life. Okay, you can deal with all the other little problems that come with it afterwards. Then under that, I have 2 Israeli bandages, and again, it's a hemorrhage control bandage. Now you'll see there's not much in the way of small dressings in here. Right, when I pared down my emergency kit, I looked at it, it's a life-saving kit. I have enough for dealing with small injuries. If you have an injury that's big enough that it is a wound, all right, it's losing a lot of blood and so on, the bigger the dressing the better, okay? Nobody at any hospital is going to ever moan at you and say the dressing you put on was too large. What they might say to you is you could have done with a bigger dressing. So I carry 2 large dressings. Basically these things are brilliant, all right? They're hemorrhage control dressings. They're elasticated, you will fit them over anything, and the pads open out to about this. So I can apply one dressing over. If the blood starts coming through that dressing, I can apply a second dressing over the top of that. You can carry hemostatic agents, and quite often I do. And again, it's hemostatic agents are great for controlling blood loss. And behind that is a trauma fix. And this is, again, this is a major bleed dressing. This is designed to slow, control and stop bleeding, okay? So again, what am I doing? If I have a casualty, all I'm trying to do is save their life. All I'm trying to do is to stop the bleeding or control the bleeding till the emergency services can get to them, or we can get them to emergency care, okay? The pretty bits around it don't matter, but it's saving that life, preventing that death. Something I'd advise anybody to do, go do a first aid course. It's brilliant. If you've not done one already, go and do one. The knowledge you'll gain from that helps you. And I'm not necessarily talking about the home or the health and safety at work generic first aid courses that they do in the UK, which they're okay, don't get me wrong. But there are lots of organisations, St John's, Red Cross and that, where you can do a bit more of an advanced course, where you can actually go in and say, look, I do bushcraft, I'm dealing with fire, I'm dealing with sharp implements, these are the injuries I'm liable to see, and they will then take you through what to do in those events. So that is my first aid kit, that's my IFAK, that's what I carry myself, okay? That's enough for me to deal with any situation on myself, and any situation on somebody with me. There are those of you that are going to say, well, I carry this and I carry that and I carry so. I carry iPads and I carry water, sterilised water for cleaning out eyes and that. If you've got something in your eye, I'm going to go to my water bottle and I'm going to wash it out with that. I know that water's clean, okay? I'm not going to panic about the fact that it's come out of a sterilised bottle. I'm going to get whatever's in your eye out of your eye, and if I can't do it safely, then I'm going to get you to a hospital. But the one thing I'm not going to do is start putting pressure or compression on an eye by putting a dressing on it, okay? And this is from my own experience. So I have, in my life, unfortunately, had to deal with an evisceration. I've worked on the door for many years. I've dealt with concussions, I've dealt with broken bones, I've dealt with burns, I've dealt with bleeds, I've dealt with stabbings. So this is a kit I go to on that. I also have a larger kit which lives in the car, and that's a more in-depth kit. So I have equipment in there for dealing with sucking chest wounds and so on and so on and so on. I probably won't get that out today, but that has an in-depth burns kit in it. It has a wounds kit in it for dealing with puncture wounds, and again, if you have a puncture wound, don't pull out what's in there, leave it in, dress him round it, get them to emergency care, okay? Never want to pull anything out that's stuck in a person. At the end of the day, that's what I found will hopefully save a life. If it's beyond the use that I've got there, then it's probably beyond my medical care and treatment. Anyhow, that's enough waffling about first aid kits and the scary side of things. That's not what you're here for. You're all here for bushcraft, survival and the rest of it. But again, being equipped and having a good first aid kit and knowing how to use your first aid kit. Okay, I've met lots of people over the years that have some awesome and very expensive first aid kits, but when it actually comes down to using it, unfortunately they don't have the confidence or the knowledge. So that was the first aid. Right, so next, and we're not talking about what I'm loading up to go on an adventure. We're not talking about what I will put in my daily pack out. This is in my everyday pack. This goes with me along with the first aid kit everywhere. You never know what's going to happen. So, and if I do go out on a bushcraft adventure, this is normally stuffed at the bottom of my bag. Okay, it's one of those bits of kit I like to keep with me. It's my oh poo. It's all gone to stink. this is what I need with me. And again, both the pouches are set up so that I can basically sling it on my belt if I had to. So if I end up miles and miles from home and all the rest of it, and I've got to walk out and I've got kit with me in the car I want to carry, I can take it out of my little purple bag, stick that on my belt. It's not going to get lost, it's with me the whole time. Anything else I need to salvage and carry from the car goes in the purple bag. So anyhow, first thing on there, whistle. Okay, a good quality loud whistle. If I'm injured, trapped, which as you know from one of my other videos I've been stuck in a situation where I was laying in the bottom of a ditch during a forest fire, that whistle would have helped me, because international distress signal, 3 blasts repeated. Okay, every serviceman there would have known there's something wrong. Okay, the other thing is for locating people, a loud whistle, the sound of it will carry for miles and miles and miles. So if you're lost and people are looking for you, right, blowing on the whistle, stay in contact with friends. I'm going over there, I'm going to have a look round, keep blowing the whistle, or come and find me blowing the whistle. It's a simple, cheap thing. It's on the kit there. Next to it is a ferrocerium rod. So pretty much it's there with the kit. I can strike it, light a fire anytime I need to. Also on that is a little button compass and a thermometer. Thermometer is as important as the compass to me. Right? If I know what the air temperature is, I can gauge myself for hypothermia. So if I'm starting to feel warm and comfortable and it's showing a temperature of -4, I know there's something wrong with my system. I'm probably going down with hypothermia. I need to start sorting myself out. That knowledge is ingrained in me, and my instinct and reaction will be, oh bugger, I'm in trouble. I need to sort myself out. That all lives on a small carabiner, which can come off. That can hook on my belt loop, and all that can slip into my pocket. I'm not going to lose it. Inside the pack, there is a head torch. Right, the batteries are reversed so that I don't flatten the batteries in the head torch. It's a Eurohike head torch, and it's just got 3 basic settings on it: low, high and medium. In the bottom of that, because I go out walking a lot and I get off the beaten track occasionally, I've got myself a reasonable compass. That has multiple uses, which we'll go into in another video. In the front pocket, we have yet another button compass. We have a magnifying glass. Not only will it start fires, but if I get a splinter or an injury or something in me, I can identify it, I can get it out. If you've got something on you or you're identifying plants, you can use that to help identify the plants. This little gadget here is a little fire match, so basically that unwinds there. Simple as that. And all that is a ferro rod down here that has a striker on the end with a bit of cloth around it. And inside that bottle is cotton wool and lighter fluid. That will store in there indefinitely. In fact, that's been in there for months. And it gives me another fire lighting source. And a bit of paracord, again on a loop. That can then go onto my carabiner. There's a little emergency kit all on its own. There you go. We got 10 meters of waxed bank line there. Again, super strong cordage, doesn't rot. You can use it for making a shelter. You can use it to improvise for repairs. You could replace a a boot lace with it. You can make a belt with it. You can improvise a strap with it. You can do many things. Doesn't take up much space. Lives in there. Then inside that is my emergency tin. In the emergency tin, I have a bag there. It's a Ziploc bag, and that will hold 1.5 litres of water. It's a heavy plastic bag, okay? So I can store water. On top of the kit, 2 sets of military issue wet wipes, okay? Again, if I get an injury and I need to clean it, it gives me something I can clean an injury with. If I'm preparing game or I'm preparing food, I can wipe my hands down. If I've had to relieve myself in the bushes, again, I can clean myself. 2 Esbit cubes, used for cooking on, used for lighting fires. This tin, I can boil water in if I have to, okay? It's not a big tin, but you get a drink out of that. In my next pack here, I have, oh, if I can get it out. There we go. We're back to 2 scalpel blades. And again, we've got burns gels, paracetamol, you've got lothramide in there, diarrhea relief. We've got a hypothermia blanket. I have a signalling mirror, a reflective signalling mirror. Leave the plastic covering on it till you need it. It helps stop it from scratching up. And I've also got water purification tablets and a couple of plasters. Below that, I've got a wire saw. Don't skimp on these. There are some very cheap and nasty ones you can buy on Amazon and Wish. Go buy a good quality one. If you buy a good quality one, they've got carbide wires to them. The carbide wire won't just cut wood, it will cut steel. And in theory, and I've heard about it happening, you can amputate a limb with it. I wouldn't want to do that, but you know, if you're sorting out game and you're preparing game, it may become useful there, especially on a large game like deer. And then in the bottom, because I have 2 Esbit cubes in there, I have a foldable military stove, okay, which I can then fold that out, use the Esbit, use that on top, and I can boil water in that. And again, as I said, it's not going to boil a huge amount of water. It's going to boil enough to get a warm drink into me, make me feel a bit more comfortable, allow me to think and process what my next move in whatever situation it is, and work out where I'm going from there. And that's that part of my emergency kit. Then under here, in the front pocket, I have what was a British military issue clasp knife. Very sharp blade, very good tin opener, stroke bottle opener. And again, it's just a simple folding knife, and it's got a screwdriver on there. It's stainless steel. These hold a very good edge. They're getting more and more difficult to find now, but if you can find one, they're well worth having, and that leaves them on front edge. So I have fire, light, shelter, pain relief, and the ability to make a warm drink. And that warm drink I'm talking about is in your first instance of emergencies. I try and teach people, whether it's right or wrong, in any emergency, stop. Don't run around like a headless chicken. Stop. Think about what you're doing. Make a brew if it's safe to make a brew. Obviously, if there's fuel and things everywhere, yeah, you don't really want to be lighting fires. But if it's safe for you to do so, stop, make a brew, assess your situation, make a plan, and work to that. Okay, so that's my little emergency kit, escape kit, whatever you want to call it. It's what I carry with me. Yeah, right, guys. So, yeah, so we covered bags there, first aid kits and that, and equipment. So, on top of that, obviously, you got your ponchos, you got your knife, you got your axe, you got your folding saw, you got your bag packed, you're all ready to go. You've phoned your buddies, you've arranged the location that you're all going to meet, and we're all off and we're ready. It's an adventure. Some other little things that I think are worth thinking about if you're going to do something like that. Even if I don't know the people, if I'm meeting up with a group somewhere, when I get there, I'll just say, look, guys, I'm a first aider. Is there any information I need to know here? Does any of you have any heart conditions, carrying any meds with you might need in an emergency, just in case you do have an emergency, you collapse, you fall over? And I always say to them, if it's something you just want to tell me on the quiet, tell me on the quiet. Won't share it with anybody else. You know, at the end of the day, it's nice to know if you've got somebody with you that's diabetic. It's not going to stop them getting out there. But if he starts behaving a bit strange, he starts seeming a bit drunk and that, you've got an idea of what's wrong with him, and you can help him treat it. Most people know how to treat themselves. The difficulty comes in recognising their symptoms coming on. Quite often their symptoms have come on quite mildly. You'll notice it before they do. You can say to me, "Yeah, you're diabetic, and you're all right, mate. If you're looking a little bit wobbly there," he'll check his blood sugars. Quite often, treat himself whether he needs a shot or whether he's just going to eat his biscuit. So again, it's just having that bit of information. If you've got somebody with you that's a heart patient, and they carry nitroglycerin with them, it's always worth saying to them, "Where do you carry that? Do you have it in tablet? Do you have it in spray form? Whereabouts do you carry it? Just in case you go down, I know where it is, and I can then assist you by treating." It's just general information like that. You know, you got my mum, she suffers with angina. Okay, so again, it's worth knowing that if we're out walking, I'm slightly a little bit down if we're on a hill or something like that, or if she starts to feel a bit winded, I know what it is. I'm not going to go into panic mode, automatic going, "Oh my God, she's having a heart attack." I know what it is. I can deal with the situation. I can slow the group down. So again, it's have that bit of information, and it doesn't have to be super in depth. It's just be aware. Again, allergies. Cool, blimey. It seems to me the world's allergic to something. But if you know somebody in your group's got an allergy that could affect them on the walk, they're allergic to a certain plant, they're allergic to a certain nut, food source or whatever, when you get to the bush camp, you're knocking up your stew, you suddenly think, "Oh crikey, I can't put pine nuts in there, he's allergic to pine nuts." That bit of information, it's a lot better than being there in the dark, having somebody going down with anaphylactic shock. So again, it's just a little bit of planning, and again, it doesn't need to be massive in depth. It doesn't have to have forms. You don't have to go massively in depth into personal histories. It's just being aware. And once you've got that little bit of information in the back of your head, it's there. He suddenly collapses, you've got an idea of what it might be, you can go to treat it. The other thing is, with the emergency services turn up, because you're going to get the person medevaced, you've got a little bit of history. Yes, I know. You can turn around, somebody collapses for no reason, just collapses. You've called the emergency services, they come in. Why is he collapsed? Don't know, but I am aware he's got angina. We asked if anybody had any medical conditions before we come out, and he said he had angina, or he had diabetes, or he has an ongoing kidney problem, or whatever. It's all information that the medical services can take away with them. You know, even down to knowing your own blood group and having something on you that says what your blood group is. I carry a blood donor card which tells anybody that has to deal with me in a medical emergency what my blood group is. I also have my NHS number on there, so that basically anybody in the British Medical Service puts that number in, and that comes up with my medical history. They know what I'm allergic to, they know what to treat me with, they know how they can move forward. Again, it speeds up the whole system of actually sorting somebody out in a genuine emergency. But again, I'm weighing you down with lots of information. So guys, that's me here home. My plans for this year: get out. I want to learn more about plants. As I said to you in the past, I know a bit, but I've picked up a couple of guidebooks. I'm going to get myself on a course. I'm going to go out and learn a bit more about plants and their uses. Hopefully take you along that journey with me. The weather at the moment is bitterly cold, but it's supposed to be easing up for the weekend. And so hopefully we'll get out over the weekend, if not beginning of next week, and have a little adventure, do something interesting. I'm thinking about going for a little walk and maybe a lunch out on the local canal. Basingstoke Canal is my local one. I'll probably drop down to the Odium end and have a look round down there. It's a beautiful spot, water's crystal clear. Guys, that's me. That's our little video for today. I apologise, same as I do last week. It wasn't brilliantly in depth. It wasn't outside. We weren't doing any fire lighting and things like that. But hopefully it's just something that will help people, give them an idea on some of the kit and stuff they can carry. It saves me having to come back to things like IFAKs and first aid kits at a later date. I hope you're absolutely awesome wherever you are. I hope you're having a great time. I hope you haven't got the sniffles that I've had. I hope you, your family, your friends are all absolutely fantastic and keeping well. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please like, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. As I've said in the past, it doesn't make me any money or anything like that. I don't get any sponsorships. I don't get anything from YouTube. However, I see those numbers going up, and I'm thinking to myself, you're doing a grand job there. It's more and more people are watching it. You're obviously doing it right. It's the only indication I really get. Those of you that comment, thank you so very much. I really appreciate all the comments. 500 subscriber, well, we're at 380 something now, and it's slowed down a little bit. Hopefully it's going to start going up again soon. But when we get to the 500 subscribers, the giveaway will be drawn. The cook set will go out, as will the meth stove, to some lucky people, and hopefully you'll really enjoy them. Hopefully it's in time for the spring, ready to use and get out yourselves. Guys, wherever you are, be safe, be happy, peace and light to you all. Take it easy, have fun. To those other guys on YouTube, awesome jobs, guys. You crack it. I'll keep watching it. Guys, this has been Mick, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Take care, peace and love. Light out.